I rode 6 hours alone with my male coworker. My husband said he was uncomfortable. I didn't think twice about it at the time. That's the part that's messing with me now. About a month ago, I was traveling for work during one of the busiest travel weeks of the year. Flights were a mess, delays everywhere, and airports felt like they were on the verge of collapsing. My trip itself was fine, nothing unusual. 2 days, meetings, hotel, repeat. I just wanted to get home. The problem started the moment I got to the airport. My first flight got delayed, then delayed again, then again. 30 minutes turned into an hour, then 2. And suddenly I was staring at my phone realizing I was going to miss my connecting flight entirely. I called the airline, hoping for a simple fix. Instead, they gave me 2 options. One would get me home late at night, close to midnight. The other was risky and tight, and honestly, I didn't trust it. I was exhausted, mentally drained. I just wanted to be home, shower, and sleep in my own bed. That's when my coworker stepped in. He was in the same city for work, heading back the same day, but driving instead of flying. He overheard my situation and casually said, "Why don't you just ride back with me? It's about 6.5 hours. You'll be home before your flight would even land." And honestly, it made perfect sense. I had known him for about 3 years. We'd worked together, had dinners during work trips, even hung out in group settings. He wasn't a stranger, not even close. If anything, he was one of those coworkers you trust without thinking too hard about it. So I ran through the options in my head for maybe 15 minutes. Delayed flights, missed connections, sitting in an airport for hours, or just getting in a car and going home. It felt like an easy decision. I texted my husband quickly, told him the plan, threw my bags in the truck, and we hit the road. And that was it. No drama, no weird moments, no second thoughts. Just a long drive, casual conversation, and finally pulling into my driveway earlier than expected. I remember feeling relieved more than anything. At the time, it felt like I had solved a problem. Fast forward to recently. I was back in that same city again, talking to a couple of coworkers about how chaotic that last trip home had been. I told the story almost like a joke, like, yeah, flights were a disaster, so I just hitched a ride instead. I expected laughs. What I got instead was judgment. One of them looked at me and said, completely serious, "Yeah, no way I'd be okay with my wife doing that." It caught me off guard. The other guy disagreed, said he wouldn't have a problem with it, but by then the thought was already planted in my head. For the first time, I actually paused, not about what I did, but about how it might look. That night, sitting alone in my hotel room, I asked my husband. I didn't expect anything serious. I thought he'd brush it off, maybe tease me about it. Instead, he said something that completely shifted everything. I wasn't comfortable with it, just like that. No anger, no accusation, just honest discomfort. And I swear my brain froze for a second, because it had never even crossed my mind to think about his perspective in that moment. Not really. I was so focused on getting home, solving the problem in front of me, that I didn't stop to consider how it might feel from the outside. To him, it wasn't just a ride home. It was his wife, in a car, for over 6 hours, with another man. Even if that man was someone I trusted, even if nothing happened, even if in my mind it was completely harmless. That's the part I'm struggling with now, because I still don't think what I did was wrong. I wasn't unsafe. I wasn't being naive. I made a practical decision in a stressful situation, but at the same time, I can't ignore the fact that it made him uncomfortable, and not in a controlling way, in a human way. Now I keep replaying it in my head. Should I have thought about it more before saying yes? Should I have considered how it might look, not just how it felt to me? Or is this one of those moments where being independent and making your own decisions naturally clashes with being in a relationship? I honestly don't know. All I know is that something I thought was completely normal suddenly doesn't feel that simple anymore.